Okay, ladies and gentlemen, a good evening, a good day, good morning, good afternoon to everybody. We are here today for the 6th annual Soul Blazer Good Luck and/or Blame Everhate race. As you might already have deduced, we are doing this every year around this time, April, May, to honor Everhate, who was a big part of the RPG speedrunning community in general, and he sadly passed away very suddenly about 6 years ago now. And every year we come together and we raise Soul Blazer in his honor. So here we are again today to do the same thing. And I did just, like, if you feel like playing this game, racing, just playing for fun, post the race link. You can still join as long as I'm talking. Pretty much. There's no blame command in this channel? Okay, so that's a bit wrong. That's just wrong. Excuse me, Mr. RPG Limit Break, big admin that just joined the race last minute. Can we fix that? Yeah, I'm gonna actually, because I am very professional, of course. My name is eLmaGus, by the way, as you can tell. I'm going to be your commentator today. I'm gonna make sure that you are entertained while we're watching these people play the game for you. However, before we start, I will need to do a quick audio check because, well, I did not get to do that before I started the stream. Okay, that's good. You can tell they are all waiting for me, but I will need to make sure that all their audio works. Good. Fantastic. Is this a new mic? These are different settings to my normal stream. Alright, I think we're good. I'm gonna draw audio from Hulk first. Let me see here.
Test should be better, maybe. I don't know. Some people say I am a professor. All right. Yeah, so I switched back and forth to my audio source on the microphone. I'm sorry if that was messing up, but OBS has this talent that it just like switches audio sources, even though I pre-selected it. I went back and forth to the same source and now it fixed itself. Either way, I'm talking too much. Let's take a look what we got in store for you today. Alright. We got in the top left, the world record holder for the game, the Hulk. Then in the top right, we have NameFaker, who is a pretty recent addition to the runners of the game. But he has the world record for the Japanese version of the game. And he's come up with quite a few new strats as well. So that should be an exciting watch. It's the first time for him participating, so is his name fake? You need to ask him on his stream. You can follow him if you want to. Bottom left corner we have Lost Core, who is a former world record holder and still has the 100% record in the game. And then we have StingerPA in the bottom right. Some guy. I don't know. No, StingerPA has shown this game an RPG limit break before, live in person. Very good at the game, obviously. Yeah. Okay, I'm like holding up the people here. Let's get this party started. Everybody good? I'm going to start this in 30 seconds. Okay. In 30 seconds we'll have blast off. I just hope it doesn't count me as entrance. I don't know. We'll see. force that start. Let's do it. Good luck to everybody. We have quite a few racers that are not on stream as well, who play the game alongside the featured runners. Good luck to everybody, of course. And here we go. Alright, so Soul Blazer is, as you can see, we start out here. Our mission that we're given by a higher entity is pretty much a lot of life forms on the planet have been captured by death toll and imprisoned, and our mission is to release everybody. In order to do that, we're pretty much sent straight to this little tutorial area where we pick out our first weapon. The first sword. Pretty simple game mechanics, honestly. You can swing your sword for damage. Pretty standard. And you can also hold your sword out and poke enemies for them to take damage. You see, you got a level, experience, gems, which we are going to actually focus in a little bit on, and the health bar is next to the player text. That will play a vital role as well. But yeah, first things first, we're in Grass Valley here, everything is imprisoned, and we gotta try to work our way through dungeons, fix these layers, or kill these layers that you see here where monsters spawn in order to release stuff. Pretty simple, and of course in a speedrun for this game, your focus is to be as efficient as possible in how you clear everything. So the runners will pretty much only do whatever is required of them, and they will try to do it in a way that is as fast as possible, which means that if two layers that they need to clear, or three even, are close to each other, they will try to combine killing the enemies if they can. So these layers, the monsters spawn all pretty much differently. We have the good 1x1 spawn. So pretty much one enemy spawns, you kill it, another enemy spawns, and so on and so forth. And we got other types of layers too, though. Like there is some where all enemies just spawn back to back instantly without you killing any of them, and things like that. So now, gems, the thing that is actually important. You will see they are utilizing the sword, of course, to kill enemies, but also there's this little ball flying around them that sometimes shoots fireballs out of them. That is a soul, and in this game you get magic spells, and magic spells are used by consuming gems that you get as drops from enemies. And with those gems, you can then equip a spell. We got the Fireball spell pretty much for free at the very start of the game. It costs 4 gems, and you can shoot it out to try and hit enemies with that. The Fireball spell is very useful, of course, to apply damage quickly. But we will get a very, very, very good spell in about 10 minutes from now that we'll pretty much use the entirety of the game. But yeah, the big thing is, with this game, as they make their way through the first part of the first dungeon here, the big thing with this game is you pretty much have to pay attention to how many gems you have, how many spells you can use, because spells are the most quick way to kill most enemies in this game. So that is very, very important. Now, you see all of them just messed up and died. Bummer, really. I think we should reset. No, that's part of the plan, of course. That's a very essential technique in a speedrun. Dying in order to go back to the hub of the world you're currently in will be faster than just, like, you know, walking back and then do the things you have to do in town in order to unlock new parts of dungeons or anything like that. The drawback to dying is you lose all your gems. So like I just mentioned, like, you want to use a lot of spells to kill enemies quickly, and part of the, difficult part of speedrunning this game is, like, you have to always, like, do these death warps and then still try to get gems in order to cast spells. An enemy can drop either 1 gem, 4 gems, or 10 gems. and one spell for Fireball, for instance, costs 4. And you can do the math, like if you have to start by 0, you need to sometimes get lucky drops in order to go as fast as you possibly can. But yeah, that's pretty much the basics. You run around, you poke things, you sometimes slash your sword, very rarely, and most of the time you will need to cast magic. Most of the enemies in this game have predictable movement, so they move relative to how you move to them. So most of the time, the runners can pretty much, you know, predict how an enemy's gonna move depending on where they stand, and can force them to, like, quote-unquote make mistakes and run into their sword or, you know, their spells and whatever, if they do it properly, of course. There is some enemies in this game that are random. Most of the time it's plant enemies. So like here in World 1 we have these plants that are running around. We see it on NameFaker's stream right now, there's plants there. They will spawn and just move randomly, which is relatively annoying. In World 1 the ones, it's kind of whatever. But later on we'll find more annoying ones, in World 2 especially, that, you know, might make you lose some time if you get unlucky there. But for now, people are pretty much just trucking along in the second part of the first dungeon. Nothing too special happening here. We see Hulk and NameFaker pretty much synced. At this point their gem count's okay. And now you need to clear this lair that you see in the middle there. And they will try to shoot these enemies already with the fireballs to get some clears in. I think Hulk and NameFaker did a pretty decent job with that. Stinger is not far behind. Lost Core also coming along, and they are already taking damage in order to take another Death Warp after this. So again, to reiterate, in this game, in a speedrun, you just do what you need to. There are some things that they might consider to pick up that are slightly out of the way to do some safety in a couple worlds, but we'll see that as we get there. Okay, okay, they are actually synced. Okay, good. I was wondering if maybe my restream was out of sync, but they all have the same time on their timers, so that's good. Yeah, World 1 is pretty simple. There is some RNG time loss you can get here, but pretty straightforward in execution mostly. But this is Lisa, by the way. Remember Lisa for later. She's very important to the plot. And we'll never see her again. Oh, maybe we will, I don't know. Does she even love the hero? She does! She does! Spoilers! Spoilers! If you have any questions, by the way, I am here for you. No problem. You can see Hulk and NameFaker are already trying to take damage here a little bit. I wonder what that could mean. I will try to answer everything. I actually don't like peanut butter at all. We do have... my brother eats peanut butter. So yes, I do. You are dead to me. Oh, dang. Alright, well, we pretty much just had to pick up Leo's brush, which we freed up by invading Lisa's dreams in order to enter this painting here. And you can already see Hulk and NameFaker currently in the same place. They are pretty much... so your sword swing does more damage than your sword pokes, but the pokes most of the time are a better way to connect to your enemies, so they are poking a little bit then swing to finish it up on the birds here. Yeah, both have similar torch rooms, not very ideal, but solid. Let's see, Stinger in the torch room. So these torches have so much HP that you want to try and shoot as many of them as you can with fireballs. Stinger. Let's see, Lost Core. Oh dear, yeah. Okay, that's pretty solid. Pretty solid there. Alright, and Hulk's picking up an item currently, a medical herb. So if you like to watch Soul Blazer randomizers, which also exist of course, an item you don't want to see, really. However, medical herbs are very handy. If you have one equipped, you can only carry one at a time, but if you have one equipped then you lose all your health. You get an automatic full refill, which will become important in a couple of situations during the run. Now Hulk taking a little bit of a lead here. Pretty much just gonna go to the end of this dungeon now. Try to clear the last layer. Hulk took a lot of damage here, but we should get level 3, I think, at the end here. Very nice. Every time you level up in this game, you get a full health refill as well. So that's important to take note of. That's part of the routing for the game as well. Is like you know exactly pretty much when you get level ups, and you want to time it in a way where you can take advantage of getting the health refill. Alright, we got our first boss here, Solid Arm, and well, the strategy looks really easy and simple, but it's very, very easy to make a mistake here too. So you pretty much just want to poke him. When you get too close to him, he pretty much locks up and you can't damage him. Hulk and NameFaker, of course, because they're the runners, they are easy, no problem. But it is very easy to slip in your poke movement there, get too close, he locks up, and you die. And that would be very bad, because you are pretty much, you're using the medical herb you got earlier in order to get the free health refill here. Alright, Lost Core doing very well there. Stinger, okay, barely making it as well. Alright, very nice. But yeah, it's a pretty simple boss, but one slight mistake in your movement can mean that you die. And if you die, you don't have a medical herb anymore. So if you go back to him, you have to fight him the normal way, quote-unquote, which is pretty much you have to go up to him, and then you have to try to dodge him and go to the other escalator, and so on and so forth. And that just takes forever. So, very, very glad that none of our runners really made any big mistakes here in World 1. And we can just get out of here. We usually every year we do this, at least one person makes a gigantic mistake. it's easy to do, trust me. So yeah, pretty good that we didn't get to see that. Yeah, very good times from Hulk and NameFaker. We're both moving on to World 2 without any trouble. So pretty much every world you go to, you have to defeat the boss, and then you unlock the leader of that world, if you will, and get a stone from them, and that enables you to move on to the next world. So this run is actually really consistent in terms of, like, it will usually, if your PB is like, let's say, 135, the run will not take longer than 140. And yeah, it ranges between, like, 135 is a really good time, and then 145-ish, I would say. We can see on Hulk's screen and on NameFaker's screen right now, they have spawned these plants over across the ocean. NameFaker got pretty unlucky there. These plants, they have random movement. You can kill this layer with magic on the top right, in the right there, to already preemptively pretty much have that cleared out for you. But these plants, not only do they move randomly, whenever they shoot out their arm, they are invincible. So if you get unlucky like NameFaker did, who didn't get the clear of the layer, you'll have to do it later manually, and that will lose you a little bit of time. Let's see, I think Lost Core got it there. Let's see how Stinger fares with this layer. It's 3 plants. Yep. Stinger does have enough gems. Uh-oh. Stinger! No! Aya. yeah. Alright, these Mudmen they are fighting, by the way, they always move predictably and are pretty easy to kill. So, no problems there. Alright. Alright, in this basement, in the water shrine where Hulk is right now, there is a potential safety pickup they could do, but all these runners are very, very experienced, and I don't think they will make use of that safety pickup. There's an item here that you can get that's called, it's a bottle. And if you have a bottle equipped when you die, you don't lose all your gems, which is a very nice safety to have in case something bad happens. I got another plant layer here. The goal is pretty much to kill as many as possible. Very efficiently. Hulk got kind of mediocre results. Could be worse though. NameFaker had a very good plant layer there. Very nicely done. That was really solid. And as expected, both Hulk and NameFaker skipped the bottle pickup. And the water shrine here is pretty much just moving through. There's not a lot to do here, just a couple layers that you have to kill and then pretty much move on. And you can actually see the difference in if you kill the plant layer outside from afar or not very soon here, because that's where we're heading. Okay. Ah yes, this layer is really annoying actually for a runner, because you need to clear this plant layer before you enter the fire shrine here. And again, these plants pretty much move randomly and shoot their arm out randomly, and if you take too much damage, you can't do fast starts inside the shrine, so the runners are paying very close attention to what these plants are doing. And I think NameFaker got a slightly better RNG there in terms of plant movement, so he made up a little bit of time. Ooh, Lost Core is actually taking a preemptive refill here. Excuse me. Lost Core went back to the lair with the plants to take an HP refill. Every time you go back to the hub, there's always 3 connections to the hub of the world. You get an automatic health refill. So he invested a bit of time to just make sure that he can do the fast threats inside the fire shrine. Now inside the fire shrine we have these souls, which are pretty easy to kill. Then we have lizards, but there's also these guys here that teleport. So these teleporting lizards, their teleport direction is random, which is pretty bad already. But also, whenever they teleport, you can't hit them. But they can still hit you if you run through them, so you have to pay attention to where they're moving. And it's pretty damn annoying. They will appear more often than just that one layer. That one layer is still pretty easy to manage, but we'll have more of these in a bit. So the reason it is so important to keep your health in this shrine here is coming up. You have these little ways you cross that light up, and whenever they light up, you start taking damage. Now, in order to traverse this part as fast as you possibly can, you want to take intentional damage and go over them as fast as possible. And the more health you have, the faster you can do it, obviously. More importantly, though, this is actually an optional pickup we're doing here. We're getting the light arrow magic, which is the best magic in the game. It's only the second spell you ever unlock, but it's just so good. It costs 8 gems, and we'll see it in action very quickly here. It does a ton of damage, and it shoots in 4 directions. So you can kill a bunch of stuff with it if you use it correctly. And yes, there's literally no better magic than that in the game. Like, some might say other magic is also very useful, but the light arrow speeds up the run quite a bit. So we got more of these teleporting lizards here. And you saw with Hulk and NameFaker, they were trying to shoot already preemptively some from afar. Since they move randomly, your success in that can vary a little bit. So that this is actually a huge part of like the RNG. NameFaker got pretty good luck here with how the lizards moved for him, and he took quite the lead. You can see, you know, Lost Core lost the lizard already, so he can't even try to shoot them. Like if they moved randomly up, well, he could try to shoot him now, but if they move in a bad direction and disappear from the screen from where you are right now, then you can't even try to shoot them because you can't hit them, or... Nope. Okay. NameFaker's playing very well right now. But NameFaker will also have to still clear out the plant layer coming up here, so NameFaker is taking quite the lead, yeah. He's got very good luck and is executing very well, but yeah, he still has to clear this layer now, and as you can see, this takes a little bit of time now, whereas Hulk will just be able to move onto the thing here and boom, he's done. This is what bad RNG can do for you. So Hulk retakes the lead. And yeah, before we can move on, before we can reach the final dungeon of this world, we will have to get an item. So it's time to invade more dreams. Because like in this game, you can get a bunch of items by just invading dreams with the Dream Rod. But Greenwood here, where we are, used to have a guardian called Turbo, the dog, but he sadly passed away. However, through this stream, we can now get to his remains, and there's Greenwood leaves there. And these leaves will enable us to reach the last part of this world, because the rafts that can take you there, they will only take you if you have that item in your inventory. Fortunately, you only have to have it in your inventory, you don't actually have to equip it, so that makes things pretty easy. If you notice, by the way, they go into the menu sometimes. You have equipment in this game, including armor, but we didn't pick up any armor yet, so there is that. You are supposed to have 2 pieces of armor by now that are, you know, reducing damage, first and foremost. But in a speedrun, of course, who needs armor, really? I mean, come on. Gotta go fast. Alright. We are entering the Light Shrine now, and this is one of my favorite places in the game, because right now you can see on both Hulk and NameFaker's screen, they are forcing a lot of enemies to the same place and shooting them with the light arrow magic all at the same time. That is why the light arrow is just so strong. You can just do that. They pretty much cleared 5 layers at the same time, which is amazing. You pretty much your strategy for that room is you do want to kill as many enemies as possible, but they are also positioning themselves in a way in that spot where they are trying to reduce potential lag. So while they do want to kill as much as possible, they also want to pay attention that they don't draw too much at the same time. It is quite finicky. So these suns here, they are moving through this room, and you can't hit them right now. You pretty much just have to dodge them. They will do damage if they hit you, of course. We got a pretty nice strat here coming up, so while they are clearing this layer, they are spawning there in the top left at the same time, but they're doing it in a very particular way in order that the enemies in the top left don't start to move yet. So you will notice that they use the little squares here as pointers, and they will not try to move past them. And now if they did it right, they can shoot a light arrow here. Hulk and NameFaker both got a bit of movement there, but if you do that perfectly, all the enemies will stand in one place, and you can all shoot them with one light arrow shot, which is pretty nice. Yeah, Hulk and NameFaker, pretty close, pretty close. It's going back and forth. Yeah, don't sleep on NameFaker is a very strong runner. I mentioned this earlier. He is the world record holder for the Japanese version of this game, and he has come out and actually implemented quite a few new little strats into the run. So I wouldn't even say that Hulk has an advantage over him in particular. He's been working real hard, NameFaker has. Oh, did he beat it? I see. Makes sense. He would do that. Alright. You notice that we're moving through the incomplete dark here, so what you're supposed to do is you can, in this game, find spirits that will give you abilities. Let's put that a little bit behind. This is the hardest boss in the game, actually. They will make it look very, very easy, but these three Lionhead statues, they have fixed movement patterns as long as you always move the same way. If they do something wrong, they will die. Yeah. Okay. Alright. Looks easy, but again, if you so much as make one wrong step, you're dead because they start moving on top of you, and then you take a lot of damage because you don't have armor. But yeah, pretty good World 2 for both Hulk and NameFaker. Some minor hiccups here and there, but like for a race, definitely very nice. World 2 is one of the most RNG places in the game, mainly because of the lizards. Yeah, if you fight these statues casually, you will get hit a bunch. But you're coming back to why it's dark in here. So you're supposed to like unlock everything in a casual playthrough, and you know, one of the things that you can unlock is souls that you can find in each world, and the soul in this world would give you light for this shrine. But since we're speedrunners and we know where we're going, we don't need that. We'll just waste time. We don't do that. Alright, let's see. Lost Core with a solid statue fight. Lost Core is a pretty decent World 2 as well. He barely lost time towards Hulk and NameFaker. It's just his World 1 was a bit shaky. And Stinger is also trucking along. Alright, now, we still didn't upgrade our sword, we still didn't get armor, so now we're in World 3, and this is where enemies will start to really hurt if you get hit. One of the most exciting places as a speedrunner, if you will, because you really, really cannot take damage, and if you're trying to move fast, it can happen that you might take some unintentional damage here and there, but we'll see. So here is actually these rock enemies. With the sword you have, you will actually not be able to damage them significantly at all. So what they have to do is they have to use the light arrow in order to kill them fast. And this is also a place where your gem count can start coming into play. If you did get very unlucky with gems, and you may start running out in this place. However, I think everybody is pretty good here, yeah. Now we see a very nice technique on Hulkstream here, who swung his sword the entire time, and then still held right. So if you run into a wall and hold a direction, your soul will start moving further and further away. This technique can also be used, pretty much you can emulate a wall by just continuously slashing your sword, because that will stop you from moving. But if you keep holding your direction, you can still move the soul away from you into other places, which is very, very good for you, of course, to do some money shots, as we call them in the business. Alright, solid. Yeah. Both Hulk and NameFaker didn't die, and then got a pretty optimal death warp, which is very nice. And finally, we are able to grab some armor here. Not because we want to, but pretty much because we're forced to. We grabbed the bubble armor, which also has a very good defense, of course. But it's pretty much mandatory to pick this up because the bubble armor will enable you to breathe underwater, and this world will have a lot of underwater sections, so it'd be kind of nice to have that. Hulk, of course, setting up the perfect death warp here. No fear in the race. Takes all the damage he needs to preemptively. NameFaker does the same. I'd be scared. But, with their skill, of course, no problem at all. Easy money. Alright, Lost Score got through as well. Very nicely done. World 3 is the longest world in the run, by the way. So, we're going to see a lot of death warps. Don't worry. The gimmick of this world pretty much is you're going to release these statues here that Hulk is talking to right now. There's 4 of them. And that will always enable you to go to a new place. And this is pretty much what we're going to do for this entire world. We're going to one place, unlock a statue, death warp back, and then go to the newer place. This world fortunately doesn't have any enemies that are too random. Also has these trees here that are moving randomly, but they are not that annoying because you can easily kill them with magic. Oh yeah, the jellyfish you're fighting, they seem to have they have some random movement element to themselves, but as long as you're standing in the right spot, you can pretty much control them relatively well still. One thing I forgot to mention about monster lairs. All monster lairs have a fixed number of like monsters that spawn from them, obviously. But it varies from layer to layer how many there are. So it could be as few as 1. In theory, or up to like 15 in some. So this part is actually kind of interesting. We're going to have to, of course, you know, unlock a couple layers here in this place, but the main thing here is there is a safety pickup here. They can make a safety pickup, a safety medical herb. Okay. A bit lag there. They can pick up a safety medical herb if they so choose, which loses a little bit of time, of course. But, well, we'll grant them a lot of safety for the next area. Because in the area after this, we're going to a volcano, and in the volcano there's random lava drops, magma drops, that you sometimes can't dodge. So it's probably a good idea to pick up this herb, which Hulk did. I didn't see. Did NameFaker pick up the herb? Hulk's struggling a little bit here. And yeah, he lost a little bit of time to NameFaker here. Okay. Hey, Jin! Yeah, Jin Tatsu, usually also in the commentator booth for these. However, today he is busy. He also made the layout. So, thanks for that, my friend. I hope you're doing good. And we see another death warp here. NameFaker already done with it. And usually from now on, whenever they want to make it death warp, they will unequip their armor. So like, if you equip an armor, you don't just have it on forever, you can also unequip it by just going to an empty space. They will usually try to do that, and then re-equip the armor after the death warp. I'm mainly curious, I'm sad I missed that. I am really curious if NameFaker actually picked up the herb or not. Because that matters. We are now going to the volcano, and it matters very much whether he did or not. The main thing, additionally to like the random magma drops that they have at the volcano, is that you do have to run over lava. You have to. there is a way to erase the lava, but it obviously loses time in a speedrun, so what we do instead, we just walk over it. And you do need a lot of health in order to do that. So you can't allow yourself to get hit by too much in the next area, so this is going to be very interesting. Meanwhile, Lost Core is also doing really well, actually. Still there. And Stinger is also trucking along. Alright, NameFaker just spawning this bird here in order to kill it right here where he has to kill the Donkey Kongs anyway. Hulk doing the same. Hulk got already quite a few extra hits in here. As you can see, Hulk is just getting hit. The good thing he picked up the herb. He felt it, he felt it. He got quite a bit of damage in there, and yeah. NameFaker clean though. Didn't take any damage so far. Getting pretty good magma drops here. Clean. Very clean. Wow, yeah, perfect. Every time you actually unlock a lair as well, you do get a small health refill, as long as you release a soul. My word, Hulk getting clobbered here. He took quite a bit of damage. He's still fine, of course, because he has the herb, but yeah. Alright, NameFaker setting up for a shot here. He's getting a lot of good gem drops here. That's another thing that speeds up this area. You need a certain amount of gem drops in order to be able to, well, use your magic arrow. Ooh, slight mess up there from NameFaker. He used 2 magic arrows there, so his gem count is relatively low. But his health count is perfect. Perfect. Jesus. And you need these shots here. Wow, the drop there. Oh my lord. Nice, perfect. He got very, very perfect drops there. Perfect gem drops for NameFaker. Hulk will also have, yeah, way good on gems. Can do the entire shot. This part of the run went really nicely for NameFaker. No damage taken. He can now walk across the lava here. We do need to like seal this specific layer. And yeah, the fast strat is to just not pick up the medical herb, right? But you do need to keep as much health as NameFaker did. So Hulk had to actually use his herb here to not die. Very nice. Very good segment for NameFaker. I lost core, by the way, also doing really well. Good gem amount. Cleared the lair. Perfect. And didn't take any damage. Very nice, very nice. Stinger moving in as well. So, the reason we did all this is we freed Lou the Dolphin. And Lou the Dolphin has a very cool item for us that we need in order to proceed. Lou the Dolphin will give us the Thunder Ring, which sounds very impressive. Great item. All it does really, there's this one specific area that we're going to now that has these little nodes there. And we can't really hit every enemy in the game with just swinging our sword. There is some metal enemies in the next area that we have to equip the Thunder Ring, stand close to a node, and that will bring down thunder in order to kill those enemies. And that's the only thing the Thunder Ring does for this one specific area. But it's mandatory. There's no way to skip it, unfortunately. On the way here, we have these little metal crabs as well. Whenever they are in their shell fully, you can't actually hit them. You hear this little sound that whenever the sword hits them when they are fully inside their shell, then you can't do any damage. Ooh, nice shot there from Hulk. That was a quick kill. Very nice. And there you see one of these little nodes there. Yeah, if you have Thundering equipped and stand close to a node like that, Thunder will strike down and kill enemies. There you go, the Hulk demonstrated it for you. And we do need that in order to kill these monkeys here, the metal monkeys. And this, by the way we are doing this strat here, where we are moving them all at the same time, originated... Ooh, Hulk got too much XP and a level up here. That's gonna cost him some time, but this strat is an Everhate strat. So Hulk got this level up preemptively, which means he killed a little bit too many things, and now his death warp will take a lot longer than NameFaker's, as you can see. Yeah, brutal. Brutal. And that's what I meant with, like, experience routing earlier. If you kill a little bit too many things, it can happen that you get this level up early, and then, you lose 10-15 seconds, which, I mean, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but in a speedrun, that's a year, at least a year. Alright, but after all this death warping, statue unlocking, we are on our way to the boss of the area. Before we go there though, we are actually going to do another quote-unquote optional pickup. It's not really optional, for a speedrun anyway, but you could technically skip it. The power bracelet. And the power bracelet just straight up doubles your damage. Which, as you might imagine, that's pretty good. We like that. Most importantly, normally if you hold out your sword with the RL button and poke enemies, you only do 1 damage at a time. But if you have the power bracelet equipped, you do 2 at a time, which is big. That's a pretty big improvement there. It lets you lift heavy statues. No, not quite. Alright, NameFaker already at the boss, the Ghost Head, and this guy is a little bit annoying. He can only move always in the same way, but he has these little hands that move towards you, and everything in this game has pretty much a health pool that is displayed outside of these hands. And the reason these hands are very annoying is they take a random amount of hits to kill, so you don't actually know... Ooh, Hulk got an extra hit there, has to be careful! Okay. Yeah, the reason they are annoying is you don't know when they are actually going to die, so if you're unlucky, and I've seen hands take up to 32 hits there, which is really ridiculous and should never happen, but yeah, if they keep moving towards you, they do a ton of damage to you at this point, even with the armor equipped. You saw Hulk took damage there once, and he lost like 8 health. So, yeah, you don't want to get hit. If you're still level 8, which NameFaker was, by the way, in this fight, you can only take 1 hit, and if you take a second one, you die. So, the boss, the head itself, always moves the same, so you can predict that, but if the hands get annoying, it can get quite dicey, as you can see in Lost Core stream, because I had to explain that. My bad. I take that. That's a big time loss for Lost Core, sadly. That's on me, though. Really. My bad. But yeah, in classic fashion, in commentary carries, the hand just didn't want to die, and then Lost Core got hit 1 more time than he should have, and that was disaster. They can take as few as 2 hits, by the way, to die, the hands, that is, which is... it's really weird. Who's on the mic? My name is eLmaGus. Hello and welcome. The hands have the same power as the ghost head, but that's it. The boss is just really strong. And well, I didn't explain this earlier, but in this game, every even number you level up, you gain 1 power point. Every odd number you level up, you get a defense point. And since we didn't get the defense point, we can't get hit on this boss on level 8. Alright. Lost Core having a shaky fight yet again. But this time... easy money. Alright, World 4! There is quite a few annoying things in this world, but the first thing we pick up is not annoying. It's the magic armor, which is a really handy thing. So remember how the light arrow costs 8 gems to shoot, which is quite a bit? The magic armor not only has more armor than the bubble armor, it also halves your magic costs. So you can shoot the light arrow for 4 gems instead, which is quite the bargain if you ask me. That will help tremendously, especially in World 4, it will help tremendously. There's a lot of enemies you can kill with the light arrow here. In fact, it's mainly what we're going to do the entire world, and, you know, having the gem cost for the spell is just gigantic. And yeah, remember, we picked up the light arrow in World 2. So, and it's still one-shotting all these enemies and shooting into 4 directions at the same time, so that's how good the light arrow is. By now you could have picked up a lot of different other magic spells, but they're just not as good. It's just not good at all. Alright, NameFaker maintaining the pace here. Doing pretty well. And this is probably the most annoying part of the run, for a runner at least. Because you have to do all these things, and then you have to go back just to pick up these mushroom shoes, to go back to where you came from. Which is really weird. Is there any item that reduces the magic cost? Why, yes, the magic armor does! There is also an item that you can get, but that's not unless you pretty much do everything in the game. The magic bell, which reduces the gem cost of spells to 0, which is pretty nice, but that's... I don't want to say it's a post-game item, because there is no post-game in this game, but it would pretty much qualify as a post-game item, I guess, mostly. You pretty much get it when you've done the game in its entirety, so yeah, I mean, at that point, it doesn't really help you anymore. But yeah, normally, if we take a look at NameFaker's stream, he was just walking over the ice, that's thanks to the mushroom shoes we picked up. Normally you would just slide, but yeah, for that one part, we needed to pick up the mushroom shoes. That's literally it, so nothing else we can do with them. We will still be using them in one other place where we technically don't need it, but it just makes the place a bit easier. But it's not really a necessity. Alright, so again, Stinger just pick up the magic armor. And, yeah, the most annoying enemies in this that we see on NameFakers and Hulkstream right now, there's these little vampires that are spawning. If you get too close to them, they will start teleporting away and wasting your time. You can't hit them as soon as they start teleporting, so what you want to do with them is just pretty much shoot them from afar. And then we also have these little bats here that we already saw in this world that just will try to circle around you. And it's also pretty hard to hit them unless you use magic, pretty much. So gems are really, really, really important in this world because of that. Alright. Hulk does have a lot of gems. NameFaker is not looking so good on gems right now. It's still fine, but if he doesn't get dropped soon, then... this could get ugly. Yep, this is not good. We still have quite a few layers in this place that we need to clear, and having gems for those is very essential, so we'll have to keep an eye on that for NameFaker. But, for the first time in the run, 50 minutes in, we're picking up a sword upgrade, which is called the Lucky Blade. So, you don't only have one weapon in this game, you can pick up 8 swords. This is the first one that is mandatory to pick up, because it unlocks the last area of this world. The Lucky Blade increases your chance of getting better gems. It's also stronger. But the catch with all the weapons you can pick up in this game is they all have a level requirement. And right now, what that means essentially is if you're not the level that the weapon has as a requirement, you can't swing it. So all they can do while they have the Lucky Blade equipped right now, because it has a level requirement of 14, they can poke enemies with it. Which does not do a lot of damage, but... ideally, we do everything with magic in this world anyway. Okay, NameFaker is getting some drops here. Alright. Woo! I was concerned for a little bit there, I'm not gonna lie, but this is enough to finish out this area. A couple more vampires down here. And then we unlock Grandpa! Alright, one more layer here, where we just have to kill the bats. Nice. And then we can move on. NameFaker and Hulk are pretty much tied right now, mostly. NameFaker has a very, very slight lead there. Lost Core is doing reasonably well. Still in the same area. And Stinger is a bit behind. Lost Core sadly took a death to the last boss that we saw. Yep, and it's pretty much tied between Hulk and NameFaker. They are pretty much in sync almost. I mean, the difference is negligible. Hulk does have a small advantage here with the gem counts. NameFaker did manage to like pick up a couple at least. Ooh, that's a good drop for NameFaker there. We still have a bunch of layers we need to clear in this area, so the more gems he can get right now, the better for him. Here we're going to, again, run into the wall to position our soul in a beneficial way to have some good light arrow shots here. Very good. Yeah, NameFaker only has 35 gems. This could get close if he gets really unlucky, but it should be fine. But yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on it. Hulk is pretty much good, having double the amount of gems. My god, they are tied 50 minutes in. Ah. Okay. Alright. Okay, good. So both players opt to kill the boss first here. You can do... Well, this is Poseidon. Let me first explain the boss. what you do is you hold out your sword, and then you win. That's pretty much the boss fight. If you have the power bracelet equipped, you can just poke him to death, and you won't take any... You can technically also dodge his trident attacks, but they don't even have to. The developers sadly didn't think about the fact that if you do have the power bracelet, that you can just outdamage the boss, pretty much. It's not a big deal. And yeah, they're tied. Now, you don't have to do this boss first. What you can do, they still will have to clear a bunch of layers after they defeated this boss, because there is some layers we have to seal in order to finish the game that are here in this area. You can do this in any order you want, really. It's both the same speed, mostly. 135, Mr. Ness. How many racers do we have in this race? Good question. Let me check, actually. We of course have the 4 displayed here, but there is more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 racers in total. Very nice. Hulk actually gets a slight edge here. I think, yeah, it's the gem count that was not so good for NameFaker. That's costing him a bit of time here. Of course, now he gets the big gem drops. Classic, really. You can see how these bats can be quite annoying if you don't place your light arrow shots perfectly. The light arrow shots, you have to place them in a way where they hit the bats twice, essentially, so you have to shoot at exactly the right time. And if you don't do that, well... you have to shoot too! Yeah, we are releasing some grandmas. I'm sure they're not important. Actually, they are required to finish the run. But yeah, very good death warp setups for both runners here too. Very nice. Okay, and Hulk does edge out a little bit here. Mainly due to the fact that his gem count was just higher, and he could like shoot light arrows whenever he wanted to. I think NameFaker had to pay attention a little bit here and there. But yeah, once we're done with all that, we can collect our next stone, which in this world, which is an exception, we don't get from the actual leader of the world, which is the Mountain King. No, we get go to the snail gnome here, who has the stone for us. And then we can move on to arguably the best area in the game. By the way, just for reference, how they're doing in general, like we can obviously see how they're playing, but judging from their splits, NameFaker is only 40 seconds behind his PB, so that's how tight it is right now. That is very, very good at this level of play. And here we are in Leo's laboratory. This is the first place, or, well... this is the first time we encounter more than one type of metal enemy, and in order to kill those, we need to pick up a new weapon, because we can't just use the thundering here, there are no nodes anywhere. And the game is nice enough to just pretty much immediately hand it to you. We're going to release this layer and then pick up the Sentetsu sword, which can cut metal. Unfortunately, the Sentetsu sword has a level requirement of 16, so they can't swing it. So what they will have to do, if they want to proceed, they will have to steal a lot of layers that are guarded by metal enemies. They will have to poke a lot of enemies at this point. So we can see this on Hulk stream very soon here. These worms can be hit normally, but these little helicopters here, you'll have to poke them. And Yeah, by now you should have already picked up one more armor upgrade, so we're going to take quite a bit of damage if we do get hit here, so we need to be extremely careful to not do that. It's especially important because in the basement here, like one in the next area, we do need to take a lot of mandatory damage, so you want to definitely pay attention that you don't take any damage if possible here. Ah yes, we have these little rats, by the way, that spawn. They just move across along walls very quickly and are very annoying if you miss them. Alright, so here there's these little lava bridges that you have to cross. Ooh, Hulk took an extra hit there. Has to be a bit careful. And you have to take the damage here. You could have picked up an armor in World 2, but that one is really out of the way for a speedrun. That would enable you to just walk over it without taking damage. But since we don't have that, we have to take the damage here. We also still have the herb here, which we're going to be using. There's more lava bridges coming up. I think Hulk is fine, health-wise, hopefully. Yeah, that should be okay. Right? Yeah. I'm trying to think how much more damage he has to take, but I think that's it, pretty much, so yeah, we're good. So here, if you're cheeky, you can, again, try to combine killing layers. Hulk already preemptively spawned some of these cleaning robots to then kill them with magic. Very nicely done. It's a big cat jam. It is. Okay, so these rats here that come along the wall, we have to kill them. And you do not want to miss one of these, because they will go around the entire map. Ooh, NameFaker is having a bit of trouble here. Just checking in over there! Oh no! Big death for NameFaker. That will throw him back quite significantly. This is doubly bad because he already used his medical herb, so again, he will have to cross the lava bridges again and then take the mandatory damage. Also, his XP count is completely whacked out now because he already killed some stuff ahead of time. Ooh. This is a death you do not want to take. No, you can make this, in theory. He'll take... this layer here is optional, but he'll take this layer, he'll seal it to get a little bit of HP back. Then the main thing is that he will have no wiggle room right now. Like, he can't make any mistakes, he has to wait here. Oh, he was not allowed to take this damage, I think. Yeah, no, he's dead. I think he didn't think about it. He could try to force a level up now. Try to go for the level up. Try to go for the level up. Yep. Yeah. Smart move. Pay attention, of course, that he doesn't get killed in the process, but... Yeah. You're close, mate. You're close. This should give it to you. No? Yes. Okay. Perfect. Alright. Whew! Sorry. I'm kind of like, you know, playing with him right now in my head. Which is to say, Hulk, of course, was moving on. In the meantime, is already in the next area. There's two miniature cities here that came to life. And the most annoying thing about these is that if you didn't collect the soul of the world, which we of course in a speedrun don't, you don't see the invisible enemies that are in this world. We know where they are anyway, though, so, I mean, we don't really care. But, yeah. I'm just glad he made that. NameFaker, that is. Like, oh man. This is like one of the worst areas in the game to take a death in. Oh no, he doesn't have... I don't think that's enough health. Oh no, it's all falling apart. It's all falling apart, guys. Yeah. Mama! No! He does still have to go back to seal one layer there. No. Oh, that's harsh. Right. Meanwhile, Hulk is in the second miniature city, currently killing invisible catapults. And releasing the final area of this world. Alright, and this is the first optional armor pickup we do here in the final area of this world. Hulk just pick up the light armor. I say optional. In theory, you can skip the light armor here, but the defense boost is just so big that, like... I mean, you pretty much use this until the very end of the game, from here on out. And if you don't pick it up, you pretty much can't take damage, which also just like doesn't make it possible for you to do like some damage boosts or whatever. So like the 5 seconds it takes to take it or to get it is just like straight up better than skipping it. Who said I know anything about this game? I'm just pretending. That's why I'm here and not playing. Either way, Hulk is at the boss to Tyndall. This is actually quite a difficult boss, in theory. However, well, we're going to make it look easy. So the Tyndall, there's these little teleporters on the side and everything that normally, if you fight it casually, he will start like moving left, right, and teleporting and shooting fire at you, and you don't know what you're doing. But if you position yourself just to the one tile to the left of him, you will just move up and down, and then you can pretty much have a poke match with him and you win. Haha, NameFaker found a medical herb. Alright, he's gonna keep going. Very nice. Can we have a round of applause for NameFaker for keeping the fight alive? Keeping the run alive. Very nice, very nice. It's very disheartening, I know this from experience. It's very disheartening to die in a place like this. In a race especially. It's also disheartening when you're on a good run, of course, but... yeah. NameFaker will still beat a couple of people that are in the race, so there is that. That's just how good he is. So no worries about that. Alright, well, in the meantime, Hulk is moving on to Margaret's castle. Second to last world in this game. And I mentioned earlier that the light armor pickup we made was optional, but this is really where the light armor pays off, because if you don't upgrade to the light armor, you're just going to take so much damage in this place. And unless you are a bot, you are probably going to take a lot of, at least like 2 or 3 hits here. Now, we're starting to collect weapons like crazy. Here, we pick up the Spirit Sword, and as you can see, there is some little ghosts here. And we're going to be having to use the Spirit Sword in order to kill them. Hulk is using a little glitch right now, though, so normally the Spirit Sword has the level requirement 19, so he can't swing it. However, if you swing a sword and switch a weapon, during the sword swing animation, it will take over to the properties to the weapon you equip. Which means, if you swing with the Sentetsu sword, and then during the swing switch to the Spirit Sword, you'll have Spirit Sword damage. And that way, you can deal a lot of damage to these little ghosts at once. And we knew this already for quite a while, but a new tech that came out very recently, by NameFaker, by the way, who got the idea to it. So, not only can you do the swing, and then switch the weapon to have the properties, so you do the damage, you can maintain it by just consistently entering the menu in the right amount of time. So, you can just like continuously keep doing damage by just like opening and closing your menu, and there's one layer in particular down here where that's going to be applied very, very effectively. It's the very last layer that we have to clear in this area. Alright, let's check in with the other people. Indeed. It's the animation that resets. You'll see very soon here. It's very new tech that NameFaker came up with, which, it's not necessarily faster, but a lot more consistent than what we had to do earlier, or I say earlier, what we had to do before that. Because you kind of had to rely on the ghosts to give you favorable movement patterns, but that's not always the case. But with this tech, we can pretty much ensure that we can get quick kills here. Let's see it here, this layer. Alright, Hulk is gonna wait until there's enough ghosts here. Come on, where are the swings, my friend? He's getting very good RNG here, actually. Yeah, I don't think he even has to swing. Ah, should have swung. So he got pretty good movement RNG there, mostly. Ghosts can disappear and then take however long they want to reappear. He got really good RNG there outside of the last ghost. So what you can do instead is like do these continuous swings, and you will just pretty much guarantee yourself to kill every ghost that appeared in one hit. And then that's really consistent. Not the fastest possible way you have, of course, but it's very consistent in terms of like time. And this is also a death warp that Hulk took just now, but this is the one time in the game where we will actually equip a bottle in order to retain our gem count before we die. Very important here, because the next area we're going into, we will be pretty much required, well, it's not required to have the gems ever, but it's required for a speedrun because it makes you go fast. This guy here lost his harp string, we found it for him. And he met a girl that was something like Lisa, I don't know. And he's playing some music for you. Good tunes. But yeah, you need to do this in order to get this card here. And actually enter the left tower here. Why they would even block your way when you're trying to save the world, I have no idea. But you know. Just RPG things. And you can already see why the gems are important here. Hulk is trying to clear the layers that are in front of him by swinging his sword, while starting to clear layers in the top left with the light arrow already. So these little chess knights here, I'm gonna call them, so they will always jump, just like chess knights, like one left, for instance, and then two up or whatever. And then they will let out these little needles. Whenever they have the needle animation, they can't be hit, so you have to pay attention to that and hit them right after they are done trying to pierce you. NameFaker had a bit of trouble here with Tyndall, but got the job done, and he's still time-wise doing really well, to be honest. He's right behind Stinger, essentially. Okay, so even though we have the light armor, by the way, for this world, which I already praised 1500 times by now for having so much defense, you still can only take, like, I don't know, maybe 6 hits and then you're dead. So, I have to pay attention here. And then at the very end of this tower here, we release Dr. Leo. By the way, we're doing these layers in a very specific order. So normally you would think, yeah, you can just release these layers in whatever order, but you want to do Dr. Leo first, because that will give you less text. If you release the soldier there first, Dr. Leo will talk for at least 2 hours. Not that much, but you lose a lot of time if you do that. Some genius actually got the idea to do this in a specific order. I wonder who that was. Anyway. This is one of the few times we can just go back without death warping as well by using the Crystal Fairy here, which is very nice. So we can actually keep our gems for the next area. And by now, you notice, by the way, that we are getting levels pretty quickly here, because the developers kind of intended you to, whenever you enter a new world, get a gigantic experience boost to get your level ups. So enemies, depending on what world you're in, are pretty much gonna get you up to a level that you quote-unquote should be very quickly. Ah yes, we can also, if you want to see this tech with the Spirit Sword, NameFaker is using it right now. And I'm sure he's going to be using it for the last layer in this dungeon, so pay attention to that if you want to see that in action. Meanwhile, Lost Core is doing pretty good. He's in left tower already. Considering he died in World 3 to the boss, this is pretty good. He's had a solid run otherwise. Stinger also in the basement of the first area. Bit ahead of NameFaker, so also doing pretty well. Meanwhile, Hulk is almost up to the boss area. Very nice, killing some knights there with magic arrows, and now he's in the boss area. However, the thing that truly makes this an RPG, of course, is the immense cutscene we're getting here. This cutscene is the longest cutscene in the game. It's pretty long. it's a good one though. The translation for this game, for instance, it wasn't the best. It's pretty good, but yeah, just pay attention to the text. Shut up, wimp! Defeat him! You're dirtier than evil! Ah, good. I love this. And yes, we're pretty much getting together once a year for Everhate, who passed away unexpectedly 6 years ago. He was the first person pretty much in the Western community, at the very least, to run this game. So, in his honor, every year we get together and do this. NameFaker is using his strat here with the continuous menu opens, by the way, if you want to pay attention to that. As you can see, he gets more than one swing in that way. But Hulk, at this point, is moving towards the boss of this world, which is the demon bird, and we all know birds are jerks. Birds are jerks. And this guy, he is no exception. Conceptually, this guy works pretty simple. You just have him fly to the top of the screen, and then he can do one of two things. He can either take a dive here, we are at 3 by the way, which wastes a bunch of time, 4, or he can move horizontally, which you want in order to damage him. It's random, 50-50, whether you can get either. So at 5, I think, for Hulk. We need him to pretty much do the horizontal thing twice. Perfect. Okay, 5. I mean, that's not great, but we've seen worse. So depending on how many dives you get, of course, you lose a lot of time. 0, ideally, wastes no time. But if you get 5, that's a lot of time you can lose here. Who would get 22 dives? I'm pretty certain it's still 22 by Jenny at 23, which is a bit ironic, but yes. Oh yeah, Lisa, by the way, is the daughter of Dr. Leo. Remember Lisa, who we ignored in World 1? Here she is. And she's in love with us, by the way. Why you ask? I mean, yeah, exactly. Alright, but now that we have released King Margaret here, oh yeah, we do an optional pickup here. So remember how the power bracelet was like a really good item? We just pick up the super bracelet, which essentially does the same thing the power bracelet does, but it also doubles our defense, which is very effective. So King Margaret, he made a pact with Death Toll, who like imprisoned everything, and he was greedy, and now he regrets it, but he still gives us his stone, so that we may fight Death Toll. Yeah, Lost Core is almost at the Demon Bird fight. And Hulk is moving on to the final world of this game. After he beats the menu boss. That's the first time I have seen Hulk mess this up, by the way. That's funny. Either way, yeah, he goes to the final world of the game. If you collected all 6 stones, you are able to enter the world of evil. It's a very evil place, in case you're wondering. Alright, so Hulk will just pretty much move through here. There's 3 different types of enemies here. The flies are a bit annoying, but it's manageable. Let's take a quick look at Lost Course Demon Bird fight, though. We got 1 dive, 2 dives, 3 dives. That's already very nice. 4 dives, 5 dives. Fantastic! This is what we want to see, eh? Ah, boring. I can't believe it. 6 dives. 7. That's good. 8. 8 dives. That's pretty bad. That's like, if you were doing a PB attempt, you'd reset, probably, at this point. At the level they are playing at, that's a reset, probably. Alright, but Hulk moving through the World of Evil finds the Soul Armor, which is the best armor in the game, of course, defense-wise, but we also need it for something else that's coming up. Also in this area, there's like these little ghosts popping up every now and then. If you don't have the Soul Armor equipped, you will take continuous damage. So you kind of want to have it for that. And here, we're going to pick up the Soul Blade. So the Zentetsu Sword, remember, can cut metal enemies. The Spirit Sword can kill spirits, pretty much. The Soul Blade just kills everything, including these little metal plates. Unfortunately, the Soul Blade requires you to be level 24 to swing it. We do need level 24, so this is the hashtag grinding segment of the run. Yeah, remember how this game is called Soul Blazer? How much experience do we need in order to reach level 24? Why, 420, of course. 1,000, but you know, you get the idea. The developers were just way ahead of their time, really. But yeah, these little metal plates here that are always respawning, they are not part of a lair or anything, but they do give quite the amount of the highest XP in the game. And we're just going to pretty much get all the XP we need here in order to reach level 24. We're not quite going for level 24 just yet, if we do it optimally, because we still have to clear some other things out. Yep. But yeah, so we were in the end of the World of Evil, and normally in any other game, if you go to the final boss area, you fight the final boss, but we can't just do that, they won't let us. Like, Death Toll is a mean guy, he just doesn't let us in. So, in order to actually get in, we do need to find the Phoenix. The Phoenix will help us to enter Death Toll's palace, but getting the Phoenix is quite difficult, so the game actually tells you you need these red-hot items in order to get the Phoenix to appear, and there's 3 of them. The game doesn't tell you where they are, though, so what you're supposed to do is figure out for yourself, hey, what enemies couldn't I kill before in these worlds that I've went through? And then pretty much just go back, kill those, and then see if a red-hot item is hiding there. In the speedrun, of course, we know where they are, so we're just going to go straight there and get them. One was in the World of Evil, and one is here in World 3, and the other one is in World 2. In order to get the one here, we'll have to kill these metal Donkey Kongs, which we couldn't before. And that will release a mermaid who has the red-hot item. Ooh, I'm not counting. No, I didn't see how many dice NameFaker had. Anybody paid attention? I just saw 2 now. But I'm pretty sure that's wrong. Dang! How could I have missed this? Anyway, the mermaid gives us the red hot stick. And that leaves just 1 item. And remember in World 2, in the Light Shrine, there were these suns there that we couldn't kill. They are considered spirits, so you can technically go back with the spirit sword and do this. But yeah, in this final room, there is a lot of suns in this one, and you have to kill all of them in order to get the last red hot item. 3 dice for Stinger, that's pretty good. Solid. This is a pretty close race between Stinger and NameFaker, actually. Lost Core is kind of on his own pace there. Unless somebody who is in the race that I'm currently not watching is close to Lost Core. You don't know. In fact, we don't even know if Hulk is first right now. I'm gonna assume he is, but, you know. And yeah, since we have to kill the suns here, this is the place where we will get level 24. So we can now swing the Soul Blade. 2 dice for NameFaker. Nice, thank you. Ooh, spicy. Puexel has been practicing in secret. I see. Okay. Spicy. I'm glad people are watching, by the way, the other racers. Very nice. Yeah, so for the last red hot item, we released this bird, and in order to actually talk to the bird, you have to come up to him from behind, which is a bit irritating if you do it the first time around, but if you know how to do it, it's not that bad. Alright, now that we have all the red hot items, remember, in World 4, the Grandmas we released, they are the key to the Phoenix. And if you think I'm messing with you, I kind of am, but at the same time, not really. So in World 4, remember, we got the stone from Gnome the Snail, and we didn't actually talk to the leader of the world, the Mountain King. And the Mountain King knows about the Phoenix. In fact, he's the first one that tells you about the Phoenix. And the Phoenix is here on the Mountain of Souls, and he tells you how to get them. So you could have done this text earlier, but once you got the red hot items, we can have dancing grandmas. Whee! And they will release the Phoenix. Yeah, this is how it works. You got the magic of Phoenix. I am the Phoenix. So Phoenix is a magic spell, as mentioned, and once you get Phoenix, you open up the final boss of the game. Like, Death Toll will now fight you, because now he can lose. I mean, what? Yeah, Phoenix is a magic spell, and in order for Phoenix to work, you need to have the Soul Blade and armor equipped. And what it does is essentially, if you equip Phoenix, once you swing your sword, you will shoot out a Phoenix. It will become very apparent why you need that for the final boss very soon, but yeah, let's first move there and see. Alright, here we go. Death Toll for Hulk on kind of ridiculous pace, by the way, just for reference. So, this is Death Toll. He will put us in a deep sleep, except not really. Alright, but that wasn't it, obviously. So this is the final boss, Death Toll, and you can quickly see why we might need the Phoenix here. We can't just walk up to him and damage him. We have to shoot Phoenix here in order to damage the head. And in order for the head to become vulnerable, you always have to kill these 4 blue flames. And Hulk is going to try to time these kills in a way where, you know how the torches he has, they shoot out little lasers? Hulk is going to try to time vulnerability in a way where not a lot of animations lap over at the same time to reduce lag. Because if you notice, the more things are on screen, the more it starts lagging. So the blue flames are sadly RNG, but you can somewhat control, like, the animation thing. But you see, if there's more than one animation on the screen, the game just starts to give up. Yep. Yeah, pretty bad blue flame positions for Hulk in general. This is gonna be a solid 135 if we get a good last cycle here. Come on, do it! Do it! Yes! 135.54! At least on my timer. Let's see what the race time is. 135.58. Clearly rigged, but you know. What a run. That's a really, really, really good time. Very well done. GG to Hulk! Very, very nicely done. He had a couple hiccups in the first 3 worlds, but then, after that, the run was really good. Meanwhile, lost score almost at the Dancing Grandmas. Yes, the world record is 134. So being a minute 50 behind and a no reset run is really not that bad. Most of that time lost, like I said, by the way, is literally just from the first 3 worlds where there's a lot of RNG and then a couple hiccups he had. That also loses quite a bit of time, actually. It's not as much as you would think, but it is significant. It tells me, the race room tells me Hulk added a comment, but I can't see the comment. Yeah, it's a couple seconds, but it does add up quite a bit. I think up to 40 for max. So that's quite a bit. But ding! Yeah, 41. It's about 40-ish. It really depends. If you do some extra stuff, it's the more you do, the more time you lose, but yeah. Alright, last score on Death Toll. Let's see. Considering, by the way, considering Lost Core died to the World 3 boss, this is also a pretty good run. Because a death to the World 3 boss, that's a huge time loss. GG Hulk! Round of applause for Hulk, please. You just consistently... I think there's nobody as consistent at this game as Hulk. If you somehow don't follow any of these people, by the way, exclamation point runners, these runners are all excellent, not only at this game, but various other games as well. Not only RPGs either. Alright, Lost Core should be very close to a death toll death here. Oh, can he get the sub 140? The magic sub 140. Unless he gets it this cycle. Oh, he did it! He did it! He did it! 139.57. The race room says 140 though. I mean, bummer. GG Lost Score. Very nice try again. We have to consider that Lost Score lost about, I would say, well, maybe 3 minutes to a death in World 3, so that's really solid. Very well done, my friend. Ooh, we got more dancing grandmas coming up here. Dancing grandmas. A NameFaker and Stinger are still very, very close to each other, so this could be quite the race here. This could be quite the race. By the way, again, NameFaker is doing fantastically here. Like his run, remember, he was on par with Hulk and would have probably remained there if he didn't have this unfortunate death in like probably the worst possible location of the game. I don't think there is a worse place to die than in Leo's lab in the first part. And that area is really, really tough, so... Alright, so NameFaker entering the death toll fight here. And Stinger is not far behind. Oh, Stinger didn't do the... StingerPA, my friend. This is not 2015. What the heck? I'm kidding. It's not like this doing the grind later is that much worse. But it does lose you like 5 seconds. It's not that bad though. Either way, NameFaker in the death toll fight. And again, same logic of course applies. He's going to try to time the animations here in a way where not a lot of them overlap at the same time. And is doing a very good job at that right now. This looks like a very good fight so far. I didn't see a lot of lag. This is a bit of an unfortunate blue flame spawn though. Yep, there it is. Ah, the lag. He missed a couple hits there, unfortunately. Is anybody gonna snipe third place, by the way, because we still don't have a finisher? Oh, this is exciting. People should be getting done soon, like some of them anyway. NameFaker is losing a bit of time here on this fight, I think, because he missed a couple hits. There it is, GG. And NameFaker did finish in third place in the race total, after losing over 8 minutes. You have to think about that. That's insane. What a run. What a run. GG. You have to think about this. This is a 144, and he lost 8 minutes. That's crazy. That's crazy. Alright, the only one left on stream anyway is Mr. StingerPA. He's having a pretty clean fight so far, actually. It's looking very good. Not a lot of lag, all hits are connecting. Just gotta pay a little bit of attention. You can't take too much damage here, Mr. Stinger. Please don't die now. Don't do it to me! Oh no! Come on! Don't do it! Eee! Ah! Ah! No! Not like this! Not like this! Shot through the heart! Ah! No! You know, I mean, this is not as easy as they made it look, by the way, this fight. Like, it's quite normal if you do this casually, or like, race this casually with us, and you do the speedrun strats, people will just die on the final boss, because, like, you can't really get hit that much. If you don't pay attention once or twice, and you take a little bit too much damage here and there, it can happen very quickly that you just straight up die. But yeah, fortunately, we can all blame Everhate for that, right? Second time's the charm, eh? Oh, you can always blame Everhate. It doesn't even matter. Especially for this game, though, for sure. Alright, again, I mean, the fight looks clean once again. Stinger's doing a very good job at lag reduction here. But yeah, this is something that, like, if you pay attention to, like, lag reduction strats as well, you might take an unintentional hit here and there because, like, you just want to save time, and ultimately that leads to your demise. Yeah, it's a very clean fight, though, so far. I think he might get into a cycle now that will get him a bit of lag, yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, you are just pretty much taking the damage from the lasers. That's a given. It's just taking additional damage by running into blue flames and or getting hit by his fireballs. You should avoid that. And then you're pretty much fine. Oh, photo finish! Photo finish! You can't see that! But StingerPA finishes with a 148. I should stop the timer for the stream now, by the way, with a 148.44. And Sin, who was off stream, a 148.46. Nice runs. Very, very nice. Alright! Cheers, my guys. Again, somebody exclamation point runners to follow them. Not only for this game, but for everything they do. They do so much on Twitch.tv. So, if you like speedrunning, pop that follow button. On Hulk's stream now, we see, of course, the ending where we were also kind of fell in love with Lisa, and for some reason or another. And yeah, the higher entity that we worked for now sent us back to Earth as a human again, but erased our entire memory, so we'll pretty much get to start over with her. Puexel, by the way, finished with a 149.48. That's a good time. That's a very good time for somebody who doesn't actively speedrun this game. GG. But yeah, but before I let you go out in the wild, we need to see this iconic line here. Lisa needs to introduce the goats. And herself, of course. Come on, Turbo. Say hello. Bleeds! He looks like a dog I used to have. That is why I call him Turbo. Oh gee, Lisa, okay. Okay then. Is this the same goat from Escape Goat 2? I'm not the expert on that, but you can ask Stinger. Okay, my friends. Yeah, that is it for the coverage for this race. I thank everybody who came out today. Runners, viewers, thank you very much for, yeah, pretty much making this possible every single year. It's always a pleasure to do this. I want to also special shout out to Jintatsu, who made the layouts, and usually would be here with me in the commentator booth, but this year had some private stuff that he needs to do. Perfectly fine. But yeah, it's also very nice to see that always like 9 to 10 people come out and do this every year, and other people come out and watch this and enjoy it. Very good, very cool. Thank you, everybody. I hope, even though I rambled a lot today, that you enjoyed this. I'm going to switch to this. Yeah, now the only question that remains is where do I send you? Where do I send you? I could of course just stop the stream, but that's boring, right? Let's see. I am going to now mute the music real quick. Yeah, again, thanks everybody. Thank you. Let's see. From the racers that are going right now. Who's the most attractive one? No, that's not what I meant to say. Let's see where they are. I'm gonna have to check. I don't have that open right now since I'm also restreaming. Okay. I'm going to assume that RPG and Holy Smith probably are pretty deep into their respective runs. Whoa, who are those people? I don't know those people. Those people seem scary and bad. Oh! Yeah. Okay, there is 3 racers still going. The RPG chick, Holy Smith, and the person I'm sending you to right now is Trans Queena, who didn't do this before, actually, I believe. So they're doing this pretty much on the fly. And for the first time, so let's go. I mean, not the first time, but like I don't think they joined the race before, so let's go support there, shall we? Again, guys, thank you very much for coming out, keeping the tradition alive. Thank you to the racers, thank you to the viewers, and I'll see you all next year. Probably earlier than that, but you know. Thanks. Thank you. Have a good one.